Well, we're going to jump right in and get started, you guys. And thank you all for being here. I'm sure we'll have a few more that will hop on and join us, but I want to just make sure that we have a lot of time for Marcus to share, and then also for you guys to be able to have a chance to ask your questions. So we're going to go through all of our topics and get Marcus's insight. So if you guys have questions, if you could just hold on to them just till the end, and then we're going to have the time for Q&A. So we won't take them like during conversation, because we just want to be able to keep the flow of the conversation going, but be writing them down or just remembering what they are, and then we're going to have that time and space for some Q&A at the end.
At the end.
So before we get started and introduce our special guest tonight, we just want to thank you guys for coming to this edition of Turn Your Pain to Purpose. And for those of you who haven't been here with us, we are talking about keys and strategies that help us to break through the things in our lives that are holding us back, and learn the tools that are going to help us to level up in all aspects of our lives. And when we were thinking of talking our conversation with Marcus tonight, Micah and I actually had a really deep conversation this morning, and and it was just, we even talked about stuff today that I don't even know if some of that we've ever talked about in our entire 15 years together, or at least gone to that deep of levels with. And so it was really just kind of a powerful time for us. But one of the things that we were discussing was, there's been hurts, and Micah has shared about some of the hurts that he's gone through, and the things that he's going to be sharing at the Lean and Level Up conference. But there was some things surfacing for me of just things that hurt me when I was growing up, that a lot of times I don't talk about them, and I don't think about them, and I have I've moved on past that point, and I've done a lot of work and healing from that. But today I was really thinking of how I got through some of those things, and and it was, for me, it was thinking about forgiveness. And there was a time several years ago for me that the people that hurt me, I came to this realization that I had to forgive them because I didn't like who I was when I was around them, or I didn't like the impact that they still had on me, because I was still holding on to this stuff, and I was still holding on to this just bitterness and this hurt. And I came to the realization, though, that I was going to have to give forgiveness prior to any kind of forgiveness being asked for, or for any type of apology being given. And it was a really freeing thing for me when I came to that realization, and was like, yeah, I'm going to forgive this person, and I'm going to love them, even if they never actually say that they're sorry to me. And in my case, I actually got the blessing of an apology several years later, an actual genuine apology. But I had already forgiven, and I had already come to this space in my heart and my mind that even if I never got that I was going to be able to forgive them and move on, so that I could become the best version of me that I could. So we just kind of wanted to set the stage, and that was a little something literally this morning. Just, it wasn't even intentional. We just kind of got into conversation, and those things were coming up, and I was like, this is kind of something, I feel like this would be the perfect lead off to the conversation that we're going to have tonight. And so with that as just kind of our foundation of where we're going tonight and what we're digging into, I'm going to let Micah introduce our very special guest, one of our favorite people in the world.
Yeah, I mean, I always started out like this, and Markus Kaulius is one of my favorite human beings that has ever been created by the Lord. I love this man inside and out. He's a roll dog. He's a part of my circle, someone that I trust. He has all sorts of accolades. I could go on and on about all the things that he's accomplished. All that is amazing. He was the founder of Magnum. He just recently sold that. He's now the founder of Play a Bigger Game with Darren, and a whole bunch of us that are joining on board with that new mission in life. He's a great father, a great husband, a great friend, just a great man altogether. He's been very successful. But the thing that I respect about him most is I know that Markus has gone through a lot of challenges in his life, much like myself. We're relatable in that sense, and having to overcome that and then using that pain essentially for purpose, exactly what we're doing on this workshop tonight. And he's going to be sharing with us some really powerful tools, a part of his story, and then and hopefully you guys inspire. So at the end of this, again, if you have questions, hold them to the end. We're going to go over everything, but with no further ado, Markus Kaulius, the myth, the man, the legend.
Yay!
Thank you. Micah, Diana, I know I say this all the time, but I love you two so much. You two are absolutely changing the world. I'm so blessed to be anywhere near you, to know who you guys are. Love you so much. Thank you. And yes, everybody, I am straight out of the 90s. Yeah. And you know what's funny? The jacket didn't look so 90s until I got the haircut. So man, I'm feeling all kinds of good in 90s today. I'm so excited to share with everybody here. So many amazing faces. I recognize so many of you, and man, I just want to tell you, I'm receiving so much love off of the screen right now. So thank you for that. This is going to be a wonderful time together.
Yeah, I love it. I'm really excited just to dive into these. Marky Marcus. Yes.
That's great.
That's awesome. Okay, so for those of you who have been on these calls, on these Zooms with us, you know that we have 3 topics that we're digging into with each of our guests. For those of you who don't, guess what? We have 3 topics that we're digging into with each of our guests. And the first one that we want to talk about, the first kind of key, the first kind of strategy is finding what we call our hot spots, and finding the trigger points, the pain points that maybe have held us back. And the example I like to use is, because we're in fitness world, is when we get a knot in a muscle and it hurts and it's painful and it restricts your range of motion, so you can't quite do anything. And the way that we get rid of those hot spots and those knots is we got to get in there.
You got to grind it.
Micah makes me take my elbow and get into the spot, because we have to dig into it. We have to put pressure on it. And that's how we break it up and we release it, so that we have our range of motion back, and so that we are not in pain anymore. So Markus, that's kind of our first thing, is like, I would like you to share your insights on, when we're thinking about our lives, how do we find those? What's your advice as far as finding those hot spots, those pain points, and digging into them?
Beautiful. So let me start by saying this. When Diana told me about that question that I had to answer, there was an obvious answer, and I'll go to it in a second. But I want to preface this by telling you this. If anybody's going through a lot of junk right now and they haven't worked out their sore spots, I want to tell you one of the most beautiful things. So hopefully this gives you hope. I love my backstory. Yes, it came with tons of pain. We're going to dive into some of it right now, but I want to tell you where I'm at right now with it. I am so grateful for my backstory, because my backstory made this guy today. Who I am today is because of that, not in spite of that. That was a great step for me, by the way, back when I could say, well, I'm going to do this in spite of my back. No. I am this because of. And because I can use those words, I can own my past and all my challenges and struggles in a very special way. I own them. They were a gift from God to me. No matter how disturbing they were, I'm very grateful for every one of them. So let's jump right into this with a really fun question. I don't know if anyone else is comfortable with this. Anyone else have daddy issues on the call? Any daddy issues out there? Yeah. For anybody who didn't put up their hand, that's okay. You'll get there, because I know we all have them. I had some really bad daddy issues. And it was definitely my pain spot for over 25 years. 25 years, I did not work that knot out. When I was 7 years old, the divorce happened. And to be honest, that family was already a mess. My mom and dad, in my lifetime, I never got to see them love each other. So that didn't help. But when we were 7, that's when he finally left. And now he's gone. My mom now has to go back to school full-time and work full-time. So she's out of my life at the same time. So that screwed me up. But being a dude, it was really more of a mess not having a dad around. And then he would pop back in here and there with, listen, I don't want to get into the gruesome details, but it messed me up. It messed me up real good. Where I got to over my time with figuring this stuff out, I went through some therapies. I went through tons of coaching. But one of the really special turning points for me, when I started to use this language of, how is this a gift? Because I truly believe right now, any challenge I'm going to come across is a gift from God. Now, for anybody who's in a hot challenge right now, they might be like, what are you talking about? How could that possibly be possible? It's not an easy thing to figure out. But if you can confidently look at it and just say, this is somehow a gift, just answer me, how could this be a gift? So I'll tell you in my life, and this was such a remarkable change for my whole life, because again, this thing pained me for 25 years. Just to give you an idea of the pain, I would say it screwed up every relationship, or I allowed it to screw up every relationship. I gave it the excuse. I gave myself the excuse to screw up every relationship for over 25 years. For 25 years, there wasn't a single day that went by that I didn't go, man, my dad screwed me up. Man, I'm pretty screwed up from this. Man, I won't be able to get too far ahead because of this. Now, you guys might not have your daddy issues, but I'm sure you've got something that you're going, I know that feeling, Marcus. I know that feeling. So here's where I got to. And again, I hope this gives you guys hope. When I said, okay, this was a gift, what is that? How is that possible? Make that hypothesis true. And here it is. When I met my wife, she introduced me to her parents. It was amazing how much God showed me that these two human beings were going to be something super special in my life. I was so drawn to Heather and Brian immediately. To be honest, the very first time I met them, I called them mom and dad. We weren't even dating yet, just so you know. So it wasn't just weird. It was crazy, but they accepted it and loved it. They invited me in such a unique way. These are two of the most beautiful Christian parents on the planet. I had such brokenness, and they saw that in me. They were just like, they saw it and they loved me. They wanted to be the parents that I never had. And specifically, Brian took me in as a son. Oh, man, I had so much love and respect for Brian the very first time I met him. And Brooke saw that. And Brooke loves her father so much. There's not a question in my mind that because of that love and respect I have for Brian, for my dad, that she fell in love with me. I'm also very confident to say, if I didn't have the brokenness I had in me when I met Brian, I don't think I would have shown him the respect and love. I can say it with certainty, because I was a cocky 20-year-old still, man. I had the whole world figured out, except that part. So that brokenness led me to loving Brian in a very special way, which led Brooke to loving me in a very special way. I'm very confident to say I would not be married to the most amazing woman on the planet if I didn't have that gift from God. So if you ask me today, would I change anything? And I'm going to remind you, 25 years of real pain, of daily thinking about that pain, that struggle. Why me? I wouldn't change it even 1%. It was maybe the greatest gift God gave me. Now, by the way, not only is that the one amazing gift because I have the most amazing wife on the planet, but guess what? Because I had the dad that I did, who played his role in my life perfectly. And I can say that without hesitation. He played his life perfectly. That I am a phenomenal father. I love my kids like crazy. I will never abandon them. I show up at dinner every time I'm in town, and I'm obsessed with my little girls. I'm obsessed with my wife. That is a massive gift that came from that.
Marcus, that's beautiful, man. I mean, I see you get emotional. I get emotional. Anyone that has gone through past struggle with wanting, I knew I always wanted that male mentor. I was striving for that my entire life. Those words, man, they hit me hard, as I know a lot of other people on here that voiced about prior father issues, and how God then connected you to this amazing man, this amazing family, for you to actually witness what a family should actually look like. That same exact thing happened to me at 18 from a family friend. I like, dude, it's so powerful how God works and aligns that. And then now you have this opportunity to utilize that pain to then make impact in other people's lives. It's powerful, man.
It's beautiful.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you. You know, Micah, you touched on one other thing that I want to also say. I'm such a big fan of this quote. You're most powerfully positioned to help the person you once were.
Mm.
And for me, my daddy issues, do you know how quickly that connects me to so many dudes?
Mm.
So many dudes who are dealing, because again, I honestly believe we all have daddy issues. Even if you had a phenomenal dad, I talk to a lot of people who had phenomenal dads. It's like, I'll never live up to this. And I've got this pressure on, like, we all have our daddy issues, but everybody who has daddy issues, the minute I start talking about mine, they're like, oh, I'm connected to this guy. I trust this guy. Like, and they know I can help because I went through it. I was in the mud and I got myself out of the mud. And so if they're still in the mud, they're like, maybe this guy can get me out of the mud faster. And it's like, I'd love to try and help you with that. I believe I can. I believe that that's exactly what God has given me this gift for.
It's beautiful.
Beautiful, man.
So I would just, moving on to like our next piece, it's like, so you came to this realization of like this pain, this thing that was really holding you back in so many ways. And a lot of people have fear of stepping in and doing that work. And so what was it for you that made you because it takes courage to be able to look at those things and to work on those changes in our mindsets of seeing this as a gift. And so what would you say to the people that are kind of stuck in fear, like they see that they have this pain point, but the fear of the work that's going to be done, and sometimes I even think it's fear of like, people maybe like that feeling of like, I'm the victim and I want to stay here, but then they never get to these other levels in their lives and their relationships.
Oh, there's a few things I want to encourage everybody with. Number one, yeah, it's a lot of work. It is. And it's going to be hard at times. But you know what's a lot harder? Sitting in that pain for the rest of your lives. That has a way higher cost and there's zero payoff. What is the payoff in that on that path? Death. The payoff if you're willing to put in some work, if you're willing to put in some time, if you're willing to learn and grow, there's this beautiful light. And then you're going to be surrounded by other people with that beautiful light. And you're going to lift each other up. And there is such healing that can happen very quickly. I don't mean healed quickly. I mean healing. Like, you think me hanging around with Micah and Diana doesn't lift me up every freaking day? Doesn't matter what I'm going through. I'm feeling better being around those two. But that's what happens when you allow some of the healing to take place, because guess what? I would have never aligned with those two if I hadn't fixed some of my crap. Because we have these blinders on. It's not because they wouldn't love me. Of course they would. They're such loving human beings. And it's not that I wouldn't love them. Chances are I would. But when you've got these blinders on, how do you see anything? And you all know this. We all know this because when we've gone through something, when we're going through something, we put this on and we don't see good answers. We don't see the gifts God is throwing at us. Like, hey, I'm throwing you lifelines. And you're like, why is this thing in my way? And it's like, that was a lifeline. Grab onto it. I'm ready to save you here. So there's a lot of hope. And the next thing I want to tell you is go at this thing daily. Make a commitment to say, I'm going to progress even just 1% every single day. If you think about that, 1% is not crazy. I see so many people in this world take on too hefty of goals. I have so much respect for the hefty goals. It's fantastic. But unfortunately, the failure rate when someone's like, I'm going to make a 180 in my life tomorrow. I love it. I love the attitude, but I see the failure rate so high. The failure rate for the people who are like, I'm just going to be 1% better tomorrow. Hey, you know what? I was 3% better today. Great. But I was just shooting for 1. And when I just shoot for 1, I nail it every single day. So that might be, I'm going to listen to a podcast today. I'm going to read 5 pages of a book today. I'm going to contact someone who's in my love list. I'm going to contact Micah today, and we're going to lift each other up. These are the little things that make me 1% better each day. Those 1% add up, and they radically change your life over time. So it's not this groundbreaking moment that, yeah, I made the decision and the next day I was all the way better. No. But as you're learning, you're going to get tools given to you, and you're going to receive them at different times in your life when you're ready for them. And some of these tools look so beautiful. So I want to give you a couple of my favorites. Number 1 is forgiveness. And number 2 is gratitude. And they are so beautifully intertwined. So forgiveness, I love talking about forgiveness because forgiveness absolutely changed my life. But I want to talk to you, if you're not forgiving others, many of you have heard this quote before. It's one of my favorite quotes. Not forgiving someone is like drinking poison and hoping the other person dies. It's so true, because you drink that poison and you drink it every day, and you're watching, you're going, did they die yet? Because this really hurts. It's crazy. But once you start to forgive, you just let go, and you're like, oh my goodness, already I'm feeling better. It doesn't hurt them at all if you don't forgive them. And you can forgive them without even telling them if you don't want to. But if you really start to let it go, and I'll tell you one of the best ways, actually the number 1 tool for me in truly forgiving and truly forgiving my father, I prayed for him every single day, multiple times a day. And I honestly prayed for him. Not, guys, you know exactly where I'm going to go with this. It's not, I hope that dirtbag figures out what a dirtbag he is, and I pray that he has a good day, even though I wish he would be hit by a car. No. I mean, honest prayer. I would come to God and I'd go, God, I really hope my father has an amazing day today. I hope he finds so much joy today. I hope his life is full of love and happiness today. I'll tell you right now, the first days are not easy. The first weeks might not be easy. But do you know how hard it is to hold a grudge against someone that you are genuinely praying for every single day? I'm talking to my creator who knows my heart. So even if my words are like, yeah, I hope he is so good, but my heart's going, but it would be even more awesome if he died. No, I had to transform. And I asked God into that, saying, transform my heart, break my heart. Let me heal, and let me give so much love to him. Let me pour that out to my father. And it healed me, and it healed him. I know it did. I don't need to talk to him or hear that from him. I know that if someone out there is going, Eugene, I hope you have so much love in your life, so much love. Do you really not believe people feel that? They do. So get on the prayer train, people. And if you haven't found God, if you're like, I don't know if I believe in that, I don't know if there is a higher power. If you feel more comfortable saying, I'm going to start with the universe, hey, universe, heal and love my father today, please. That's a great starting place. But if you are looking for God, or maybe you think, hey, there might be something there, I think there's at least 3 people on the call here who would love to have that discussion with you anytime. Okay, gratitude. I didn't talk about gratitude and how beautifully intertwined they are. The more time I spend in gratitude, if you focus more of your life on gratitude, it has absolutely miraculous powers to radically change your life. First, if you didn't know this already, the most incredible studies have come out recently that show that the same parts of your brain that light up when you're anxious about anything is the exact same part of the brain that lights up when you have gratitude. They cannot coexist. It's not just a catchy line that's like, oh, those 2 things can't coexist in your mind. No, like they literally can't coexist. If you're firing with gratitude, you cannot be anxious. It can't go in there. So that's number 1. the more gratitude I feel, the less I feel anxious, the less I feel sad. Plus, there are literally a billion things every minute of every day that I should be grateful for. And I know if anybody's going through something really tough right now, I know that's hard to hear. And you're like, not in my life. I'm sorry to say, yes, in your life. I need to encourage you. Yes, in your life, there are a billion things every single moment of every single day. Are you having to focus on breathing right now? Are you having to focus on all your organs working, your blood pumping through your heart? Well, we just talked about 20,000 of the blessings that you're receiving this second. And we haven't even gotten out of you yet. So the more time I focus on that gratitude, and let me tell you a few other unbelievable side effects. I love to be in gratitude every single day. And when I'm talking to my creator, when I'm talking to my king, I like to thank him for all the wonderful things. But I really don't like sounding like a broken record. Oh God, I wanted to thank you for this again and this and this and this, because I'm doing this every day. I'm doing it multiple times a day. So I got to get creative and I got to look around as I'm walking through life. What else can I be thankful for? Do you know what kind of a person that turns me into if I'm literally walking around like this? Got to be thankful. Got to be thankful. Oh, yeah. Every conversation I'm in, the fact that I'm on this Zoom with you amazing people, I hope you see it in my eyes. I'm looking around this room and I have so much love for you. The fact that you showed up on this call to hang out with me. How am I not grateful for that? That's amazing. I know you people are busy. I know there's some crazy high achievers in this room. And you are here to hear me talk? What? I'm so grateful for that. I'm so grateful for these two amazing human beings who take the time out of their day to not only pour love on you guys, but to arrange this so I get to experience this love. My freaking brother's on this call. Do you know that 2 years ago, my brother and I had basically no relationship at all? Does that resonate with anybody? And here we are today. He knows I'm doing this talk. He's like, I'm going to show up there. He texts me 10 minutes ago before the call. And he's like, I'm going to be there, man. I don't need to say anything. Just send him my love, send him my positive energy for you. My brother and I get together every single week. That is one of my best friends on the planet right there. 2 years ago, he was just some guy with a title that said brother. And I don't even know if he deserved that. But that's what gratitude, that's what forgiveness can do. And just, it really turned me into a man who's focused on love first, because love is the root of all of that. And the more I can walk around with loving eyes, oh man, this world needs more of that. Anyone agree with that? Throw up your hand if you agree with that. This world doesn't even know what love looks like anymore, because everybody is out there like, well, what's in this for me today? What's in this for me today? Hey, I've got a busy day. I got to focus on me. Man, I've just slowed down and been like, oh, if I pour love into people, I know I'm going to change lives. And guess what? My life has been like 10,000 times more fruitful. Anything you consider as success, I'm experiencing 10,000 more times that, because I'm walking around with just love. And what's so beautiful, last comment I want to make about this is, the more you love, the more your definition of success is going to change. And that is one of my favorite things. If you went back to my history 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, my definition of success had to do with Ferraris, ladies, money. I don't care for any of those things. It just so happens, I mean, I got the best lady. I got a great car, but I don't need any of those. I need my wife, but I don't need any of those things, those superficial things to define success to me at all. And the contentment in my life goes up so much. I am so confident I could lose it all as long as I don't lose my wife. But if God wants to take her, I understand that too. But I just know I'll still have a purpose here. I know my purpose is so much bigger than financial purpose or Ferrari purpose. Bingo. Okay, I'm going to stop now.
Well, that was great. Yeah, and I think we kind of jumped right into the third section, which is just talking about the tools that we use.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you hit on, forgiveness and gratitude are just two of the most powerful tools. Like when we're thinking about overcoming these barriers and having these breakthroughs in our lives, you know, like we always talk about faith and fitness, those are our two power tools. Those are our wrecking ball tools for being able to break through. And then I think forgiveness and gratitude kind of gets balled up into those pieces as well. So if you want to just touch on real quickly, just about the faith, and then because everything we do is faith and fitness, I want you to talk about how does our faith, our relationship with the Lord, and that connectedness, and then also our fitness, taking care of our physical body, talk
Mm.
about those tools for overcoming those things in our lives too.
Oh, wonderful. And thank you for this opportunity to share this. So on your faith journey, I really want to encourage everybody, go deeper, go deeper. I know he's calling you. I know. I don't need to know God's mind to know that he's calling you to a deeper relationship. And I know this because I was called for many years and I fought that calling. And then I started to listen to the calling a little bit and I gave to my Lord what I thought was everything. But then I went deeper and gave him more and gave him more and gave him more. And he gave so much in return. This is the creator of the whole planet. This is the Almighty, all-knowing, all-powerful. And he wants a relationship with you. He loves you so much. No matter what you've done, no matter how valueless you think you are, he loves you so much. And he's the most ridiculously generous God. So generous. If you would only give more of yourself into this relationship, and all he's asking for is your time, all he's asking for is your love, you will be showered with his generosity. Now, I want to be clear here. That doesn't mean the Ferrari's going to pull up in the driveway. It might. But what you're going to experience is in your heart. If you give him your heart and you say, God, give me the desires of my heart, he's going to fill your heart with desires that he wants you to have, that you've been put on this planet to have, because you are supposed to fit into this planet just like this. But what happens is this gets changed by so many people telling you, don't be like this, be like this. Oh, and you're too fat and you're too skinny and you're too tall and you're too this. And then when we try to go through life, it's uncomfortable and it gets real messy. And all he's saying is, hey, if you come back to me, I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you see how perfectly you fit into this world. He gives you the desires, and then he fulfills those desires because you're desiring different things, the things he wants you to desire. Do you know how much I desired coming on this call tonight? I've been looking forward to this since I got asked to do it. That was the desire of my heart. And look at what happened. How generous. So many beautiful, happy, loving faces pointed at me. This is even better than I dreamed it would be. So my faith, my relationship with my King, I can't do enough for him because he just does so much for me. And the more I recognize that, the more I see. I don't think I'm even seeing 1% of 1% of 1% of what he's doing for me. And I'm saying he's the most generous God ever. So if you're kind of on that doorstep and you're just like, I don't know, I don't know, is he calling me? I'm not even sure. I'm certain of it. He's calling you. And all you have to do, here's my encouragement for you tonight. It's my favorite encouragement. And I know that there's people on this very call who I've given this encouragement to, and they got the answer within 24 hours. You can say, God, I don't even know if you're there, but if you are, will you show me? And then help me to see it. And then keep your eyes open. Because that's the thing. So many of us ask. And then I'll talk to that same person a week later and they'll be like, oh, well, I actually, the next day, it was really weird. A long lost relative came into my life and, oh, we went to the hockey game. It was the most amazing day of my life. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I guess I did ask God for, and it's like, wait, what? You got an unbelievable answer and you're not even going to give him credit? How's that going to work? And it's like any other relationship. Many of you are parents, but even if you're not a parent, you're just a friend of someone or you're married to someone. You do something wild and incredible for them, and they don't even thank you. How excited are you to do that again for them? And it's not that he's this God, wait, oh, you're not going to thank me, then you get nothing. No, but it is like any other relationship. If you come to him and you're like, thank you, oh my goodness, it's been my experience that he keeps showering me with more of that stuff. So it's not a God vending machine. You don't get to put in the requests, put in the prayers, pop out a whole bunch of results. But it is a beautiful relationship, and this is an invitation for something more.
Beautiful.
It's foundational, man. It's beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. And thank you for diving so deep into that. And there's quite a few of us that are believers on here. For those that are open to hear more about that, obviously reach out to us. We'll dive in deep, and again, it's not pushing it on you. God gives us free will. But we definitely have all gone through our challenges, and once you see it, and you know it as much as you see anything else, and believe it once you feel it and see it. And that's exactly what Markus is illustrating with the words that he's saying right now. Very beautiful thing. So you had touched on faith. Second wrecking ball. How does fitness and health come into play with just how you're navigating through your life and getting through some of those pains?
Beautiful. I love this. Wow, we're dancing right now, you two. Thank you. Fitness is so critical to our lives, not just me, Diana, and Micah, our lives, all of us. We have been gifted this beautiful body that works so well. And for the first 40 years, we really take that for granted because it almost works perfectly. And then if we haven't done the regular maintenance and taking good care of it, then it falls apart kind of fast and kind of grossly. So I really want to encourage you. It's our duty to take good care of this thing. And it's not just because it's this one element in my life that I need to take care of. No, if I don't take care of my fitness, I don't get to enter the world the way I know I'm supposed to enter the world. I don't have the energy. You think I can have this energy without getting my workouts in? But it's not just that. It's all tied in together. If I don't get my great workouts in, I don't get to eat properly. If I don't eat properly, I don't get my great workouts in. I don't have the energy. I don't get to do these amazing things. I don't get to show up the way I know I need to show up to this world. So the exercise is so critical. And oh my goodness, I keep saying one of my favorite quotes, but this is one of my favorite quotes as well. A healthy person has a million dreams. An unhealthy person only has one. Ooh.
Spot on.
That's such a good one. I've heard, I think David Meltzer says that sometimes. I think I've heard him say that, but it's like that one always hits home, just like people don't think that out. And I'm glad you said that, because that's like when we think about our lives, it's like you either are going to have your health or you're not going to have your health. If you have your health, you can focus on all these other things. If you don't have your health, you literally can only focus on your health, your sickness.
Last week we were in Vegas. We did a really amazing podcast that will come out soon. And I'm sitting there with the podcaster, and the line that came to me when I think about health is the fact that, like, we're so passionate about what we do because most people have no idea what it feels like to wake up healthy. And when you actually think about that, it's so sad to me that people will not be able to operate at their top potential and fill out their purpose in life because they're limited through their unhealthiness. And that's not only physical. We're not talking just fat cells. We're not talking all of that. We're talking about what it does to the mental state, what it does to the spiritual state, what it then does to relationships, what it does to adulthood. So anyways, wake up healthy.
I love that, brother. And I just want to encourage everybody. If you're going, but it's too late for me, or like I'm struggling to even get started, just get started. Just start. Just start with a walk tomorrow. Commit to that and start changing your identity. you really, one of my favorite things to encourage people with is really start being careful with the words you use. So many people, oh, I fail at that stuff all the time. Man, you're setting yourself up for failure using language like that. No, you don't. You don't fail all the time with that stuff. No, oh, I can't. I'm an unhealthy person. Of course, you're going to be an unhealthy person if you're stating your identity as an unhealthy person. Because now, if you go for a walk, if you go for a workout, you're actually going against your true identity. So I really want to encourage you. One of my favorite first steps is change your identity. I am a healthy person. Now, prove it. When you go for a walk, make sure you celebrate that. Oh, man, I am a healthy person. I just went for a freaking awesome walk. Should I have fast food right now? Well, what would a healthy person do? No, healthy person would say, no, we're going to go get something healthy. Yes. Wow. I'm a healthy person. It doesn't take long before you can confidently go, this really is my new identity. But I also need to encourage you, you need to surround yourself by people who have that same identity. It's really hard to hang out with your friends in McDonald's and be like, I'm a healthy person who makes healthy choices. Great. What are we having for lunch? McDonald's. It's not going to last that long. Spend some more time. It doesn't mean your new best friends who you spend all your time with are the gym goers, are the freaks like the three of us. But if you spend time with us freaks, we're going to wear off on you. Spend some time with us, and all of a sudden, you're not going to think it's that weird to go work out on a second or third time in the day. It's not going to be that weird to carry your food through airport security. These are the fun stories that we like to share. That's awesome. So, hey, that's an invite. Come hang out with us more.
Yeah, love that. And that's a great segue. Guess where you can come and hang out with us more. So, guys,
let's talk about play a bigger game.
We can work out.
So we have two things that we want to share with you guys, and hang on to your questions because we're almost there. I want you to be able to share about Play a Bigger Game, and then we also have our Lean and Level Up conference that's coming up in January, and where people are going to be able to connect with you in person. And we've got
Darren and
Darren is on here,
Jessa,
Randy's on here somewhere too, I think, and Jessa. So let's first share with us about Play a Bigger Game and a bonus that we have for everybody that's on tonight. And guys, hold on to the questions. I know, like, I'm super
we want to be
excited to get there.
respectful of your time, but this is a powerful one.
Yep.
Yes. Okay. So let's start with playbiggergame.com. I have been called for my whole life to do exactly this. This is a community, and I think it might be a little bit selfish because this is the community that I've always wanted to be part of. It's a community of loving human beings that are going to be lifting each other up and growing together and sharing wonderful, wonderful times together. It's a community that's online that we are now taking interviews. And I say interviews because to be this loving and amazing of a community, it's not open for everybody. It's open to you guys, and we're going to have a discussion to make sure we're the right fit for you and you're the right fit for us. But if you want to surround yourself with people who have this kind of a growth mindset, who love health, who love their lives enough to say, I should be playing a bigger game. If you feel like you're called to play a bigger game, maybe I should be playing a bigger game. Maybe I could be playing a bigger game. We're the community for you. It's a community that's going to help you play a bigger game in life. Better health, better relationships, more success in every area of your life, more purpose. There's amazing community calls. We're going to jump on these community calls with incredible leaders like Micah and Diana, like some of the other amazing people that you've already met through this program and through the conference in January, which is going to be amazing. But these are the people who are going to be leading these weekly, monthly workshops. And you get on these calls with a community of people who are also loving like this, lifting each other up, encouraging each other, pushing each other to grow, challenging each other, learning from each other. Then there's beautiful courses put together by brilliant leaders, brilliant minds from across the planet. Then there's performance coaching as well, if you'd like some of that. And I'm telling you, if you don't have a performance coach yet, the great minds in this world all have performance coaches. You could be playing better. Can you imagine Michael Jordan not using a coach? If Michael Jordan needs a shooting coach and a passing coach and a training coach and a cardio coach and a coach, are you better than Michael Jordan? Come on now, people. But honestly, Play Bigger Game is just this beautiful community that says, come on in. Let's share love with each other. And imagine if you spend more time with people who really love you, who are praying for you, pushing for you. And imagine what you could accomplish. Imagine the parent you could be, the husband, the wife, the employee, the employer. The world will change for you.
Yeah, so that's incredible. We're super excited about it. And then you have a special offer so people can go on playabiggergame.com and sign up for a call. And so tell about the bonus.
Yes, we love bonuses.
Bonuses
Yes.
for those of you who are part of the workshops and the webinars. And if you could just explain that. And I'm putting the link is in the chat, and we'll send that out to everybody.
So I want to start by mentioning the homepage is finally, the proper homepage is going up tomorrow. Now there's a landing page. You can see a little bit about it, but just don't judge us on that. Okay. Tomorrow, it's a much prettier page that's going up. We're really excited about that. But you can still go on there and you can get your call booked. If you book your call in the next 48 hours, we are going to give you a BOGO month. So all you have to do is sign up you just have to book your call. Okay. It doesn't mean you have to sign up or commit in the next 48 hours. You just have to get your call booked. And then I'll know you're from this workshop, and we're going to give you a BOGO month. So if you choose to join our community and we know that we're a good fit for you and you're a good fit for us, you'll pay for 1 month and then we'll give you your second month for free. I just know that if you get a taste of this community, you're going to love it. And by the way, the discovery call, most of those calls are with me. If not, they're with Darren. There's only a couple other people who will take them, but I'm really trying to power through them because I freaking love these calls. So you'll get to talk with me, and I'm just going to have a chat with you about what we do and what it's about and the love that you can expect if you show up at playbiggergame.com.
Sweet.
This is exciting.
We're doing it.
Yes.
So that's exciting. So people can go on there and you can book your calls, and then there's actually a special event. Do they book for the January 1 event? Do they sign up for that on that page too?
That will show up. It should show up tomorrow at the same time. So
okay.
On January 1st, we're doing a free workshop. So if you're like, I'm not even sure I'm willing to commit to an interview at this point, this discovery call, how about this one? January 1st, from noon until 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we're doing a free workshop. This workshop is just going to give you some beautiful mindset tools and tips, similar to the stuff we've talked about tonight, but we're going to go a bit deeper. You're going to meet some of the great leaders. You're going to feel the feels of the community, the love of the community, and it's totally free. And we just want to see you show up. What better day of the year than January 1st, when you want to set your goals and say, I'm going to have a better 2024 than my 2023. My question is, what are you going to do differently? Who are you going to surround yourself that's different? Because if you don't change those things, you can expect the same as 2023. I would love to help you play a bigger game in life.
Love it.
Love it.
And then we also have our conference coming up January 26th to the 28th in Tampa, Florida, the Lean and Level Up Conference. And so for those of you who are on here, we really want you to join us there too. You know, we've been having these awesome workshops and these calls, and there's so much awesome stuff happening, but we want to bring people together in person too. And I believe we're going to have a lot of the Play a Bigger Game community there. And so it's going to be an opportunity to just connect with people in person. And we really know that God's going to show up at that weekend. I mean, there's just been even I say this every week when we're on here, I'm like, you're not even going to believe what's happening, but it happened again.
Yeah.
And so there's there's like
It's
more
every day.
stuff, and every day, like the Lord is just showing us that Lean and Level Up is going to be a place. I believe that there's going to be so much powerful coming from the stage and our speakers and the incredible people that are there. And I'm also really feeling that it is also a time for the people that are there. There's supposed to be relationships. There's supposed to be connections. I feel like it's going to be a catalyst event for things that you're supposed to be doing going forward in your lives. And there's somebody there that you're supposed to be meeting. So we invite you guys to join us at Lean and Level Up. And then for those on the workshops, we have the $150 off coupon. It's Purpose, PURPOSE, and I'll send that out for you guys too in the replay. But so this is the only place that we're going to be offering that level of discount is to the people that are coming to the workshops and attending. But it's I'll put it in the chat too. It's $150 off of any of the ticket levels. And yeah, so it's going to be powerful. 2024 is just going to be next level in so many ways for those who choose to lean in and level up and play a bigger game.
Yes.
Yes. Diana, allow me to say just a few words about that conference. If you are thinking about it, stop thinking about it, just commit. I know there are a million reasons, a million excuses we make for ourselves not to do it. Get in that room. It is so impactful to be in a room with the people who are going to be there, the speakers, including myself, including my brother. We are going to pour so much love on you. And this is such an uplifting experience. And I love these rooms. I cannot wait for late January. Just be there, commit to it. I would love to see you there. I'd love to pour that love into you. I'd love to give you a massive, long, and uncomfortable hug.
They are
that
long.
fills you up.
They are long.
It's
Yes.
good for you.
Love it. Well, let's get in. I want to get to some questions. If you guys want to put your little hand, the little raise hand things up. I saw some awesome comments, and I know Brent was dropping some great comments. I saw Randy dropping some great comments. So
Chatty and
I wanna hear
Brandon
from you
and
guys.
yep.
So who has either a question or a takeaway that you'd like to share?
Not all at once, everybody, please.
I'll start. Marcus,
Just
first off, just thank you so much for your time. We've known you for over a decade, and I still just love being around you and hearing, your words, your wisdom, your inspiration. That's a part of your circle when you can't get enough of that individual. And so if you got those people in your circle that are like just feeling like leeches and weighing you down, it doesn't mean that you don't love them and can't love them, but those can't be the people that are the closest to you. And that's something that I would encourage going forward. And you get those people around you and surround you in this next year in 2024. It was a challenging year for 2023, but 2024 we're gonna rock it, folks.
Yeah.
And I just want to say thank you. And I feel the same way. Every time you two open your mouths, I'm like, I'm so proud of you two. Like, I love that. I just know whatever is going to come out is going to be beautiful. And so thank you.
Jessa, did you have something?
Just thank you, Marcus. I've can so attest. I've seen you and was able to meet you at the last retreat in March, and just love, I think just felt from you, experienced even today, and to hear more of your story too, of all that you've been through and how you have used it and wrestled, and then pouring into people, pouring into us tonight. I just feel overwhelmed with gratitude for you. So thank you.
Appreciate that so much. I received that, and I have felt that from you all night. So thank you.
It's great, Brandon.
Hey,
yeah.
When and if we get a moment without questions, I'd love to just ask if Darren had anything to add about the conference or play a bigger game or any of that.
So Darren and then Brandon. Brandon, I can't see where your hand is, but just hop on. Oh, there you are. Hop on.
Get Brandon's question in. Go for it, Brandon.
No, I don't really have a question. Sorry about my son's ninja course. But You know what? I don't know if anybody can see me, but you know what I wanted to say is Micah has been encouraging me actually to, have a healthy, um, honest conversation with my dad about me needing his approval on a lot of different things in my life. I Not to go in a big long story. I was abused. My dad's my best friend, but I just haven't been able to be honest with him. And I just have, just kind of like Marcus said, have had daddy issues about wanting his approval and me making him proud in everything I do in life. And I just haven't gotten it. And last night I just was up and I was praying and I was like, because I just wasn't getting it from him. And being around Micah, and encouraging, that he has been on my life about just leveling up, being a better version of myself, being a better father to my son. I just was driving down the road and I ended up calling him. And I just had like an hour and a half deep-hearted, bawling our eyes out conversation about just life and me, just yearning for his approval and everything I've done. And it has just been, and that just happened today, like about an hour ago. And that has been just absolutely uplifting to me. And I think my dad, I think he actually took it most of the time. If I said anything to my dad, it was always taken as a negative, like he did something wrong. And he didn't do anything wrong, because it's like you said, Marcus, I wouldn't be the person I am today without going through all of those things that I went through with him. And I explained that to him, and I think he actually accepted it. So I love everybody on this call. You talk about surrounding yourself with other people that are winning and that want to win and just want to lift people up. I'm blessed to be a part of this. And you know how I feel about you, Micah and Diana.
We love you too, dude. Most of the time.
I know there's this much maybe you don't love, but that's all right. Everybody's got a little bit.
I love it all, dude. I love it all. And I'm very, very proud of you, dude. That takes a lot of courage. That's a scary thing, because you're navigating back into a pain spot and back to the person who did this to you, no matter if you love them or not. Brandon, like, man, God is good, brother. Like, I've been praying for quite a while on you, dude, and the prayer was answered. And this is the first stage of that. It will continue to heal as you continue talking and being open with him. But that man loves you too, clearly, with how he responded.
Yeah.
Yep. And it needed to happen. So I appreciate you guys. Love y'all. I'll get off.
Yeah.
So proud of you, Brandon. So proud of you, brother.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, that's awesome. Anthony's got his hand up if you want to, where are you? This gallery view. There he is. I'm like,
yeah, I know Micah touched on it last week, but it's more a comment and observation for me personally. Like Marcus said, we've all got our stuff. I've been going through mine. I think I've got you beat under 25 years, Marcus, but I know it's there. I recognize it. But I just wanted to acknowledge that for me, one of the things that's really impressed me since I've joined this community is the authenticity that I've experienced, but particularly from men, that vulnerability. And that's just not a usual thing. So I just wanted to acknowledge that I'm feeling myself slowly getting dragged from this place where I'm at, and this group is playing a major part in that. So thank you for that.
Oh, man.
Oh, man. I got to say, I love that so much. Yes. I love that you recognize it. I love that you showed the appreciation, that you called it out, because I know every other man on this call is like, oh, yeah, you never see this anymore. It's one of the things I talk about a lot these days. COVID, for some bizarre reason, men got more affected with their communities than women. Women are just better at protecting their communities. So my wife, she kept going to Bible study and her book groups and all these things. Whereas men were like, oh yeah, I don't do that stuff anymore. It's okay. But we need it. But we don't even realize we need it until we get a taste of it again. Like you're getting a taste of it right here and you're like, oh, I like how that tastes. I need more of this. But then you've come across the next issue, which is not all men are comfortable with this. Like, this is not necessarily a comfortable situation for a lot of people, but if you feel comfortable, that means you're being called to it. And that's your authentic self. And I love that you're recognizing and calling it out. Now I'm going to encourage you, take action. The more you step into that, the more it's going to fill you up. And this is one of the greatest things about my relationship with my brother. Like, we're like, hey, we're going to open the kimono here, man. This is vulnerability time. This is men loving men, and that's okay. And yeah. And I have that relationship with Micah too. We got to go to Cabo recently just for some iron sharpening iron. And it's just, men need that. Men are desperate for it, but we just don't realize we're desperate for it.
You know, the further that I've dove into my own trauma and my own pain, a lot of the research that I did was based upon how men struggle talking about their different pains in life due to a lot of different circumstances, from how they were taught from their mother or their father, or the societal stigma that is upon us. And I'm feeling so called to be in such a vulnerable state in front of grown men and women, and showcasing that, like, God did not create man to hold in pain. Christ himself shared his pain. He shared his tears. He shared his vulnerability. He shared his truth. And as a follower, like, I'm like, dude, that's the greatest mentor. Like, I have to share this, even if I feel like I'm going to get judged, or I feel like I'm going to be less than or whatnot, because the reality of the situation is, and you touched on this too, I kind of have a very similar line to it, but like, the prerequisite of getting the anointing from the Lord is being able to share the pain you've gone through and maybe have overcome, to help someone else who has also gone through that pain. And men, I know a lot of us hold on to a lot of that, and it's time to speak out and start healing, so that we can be the leader in our families and be the leader in our communities like we need to be.
Yeah.
So well said.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that, Anthony. And I just want you to know that you being here, so actually you came to my mind of something that you said last week, this morning, and I was telling it to Mike of, so for those of you who weren't with us last week, we were talking about pain and trauma, and something you said last week resonated really with me, to the point that I was talking about it this morning, of like, you know, you were like, I sometimes don't dig into I don't think of the things I went through, because I think other people have been through, it's worse, like what they've gone through is worse. And I realized this morning that in my mind, because of the things I know Mike has gone through, I see that as, that was worse than what I went through. So there's like, I was like, wow, I totally do that too, of just like, I'm not saying I've done a lot of work, but I don't even think of it or consider it, because I think what he's gone through was more. You know what I mean? So I just want to thank you for that, and know that you sharing in this environment, that's impacting other people and in me too. So thank you.
Anthony, I got one last thing to say, man. If you like what you're tasting, man, I really hope you set up an interview, because this is what you'll expect at Play Bigger Game. This is why we've set it up, because we're a bunch of dudes, and it's not just for dudes, but we're a bunch of dudes in here who are like, I want this on a regular basis. I need more of this, and it's a safe space. You know what I mean? Like, that's one of the key reasons we do the interview, so that we're not going to be sharing something really sensitive, and then someone's like, oh, you freaking blah, blah, blah. And it's like, oh, now I'm crying for a different reason.
And I'll be with Play a Bigger Game too. There are some like powerhouse females that have overcome a lot of challenges. They're going to be like, you know, outwitting all of us men. So just to be completely clear and transparent about that, this lady's one of them.
Yes.
Well, I want to hear from Darren, and then I want to make sure, I want to hear from Brent after that, because I see you scribbling little notes down there. So I know you got stuff to.
And we want to be respectful
say.
time. If you have to leave, I understand. It's one of those workshops that's going to run a little bit longer than we anticipated, but there's a lot of good nuggets here.
Yeah.
And I'm sticking around, everybody. So let's run this out.
Hey, I just wanted to jump in, and thanks for putting these on, Mike and Diana. I love coming. You know, I've known this guy who's speaking today literally his whole life. and I still show up to hear what he has to say. And that's the kind of man he is. It's what you're seeing here. If you were to drop by his house, knock on the door, you get the same thing. Like this isn't a show, and I think when we talk about play bigger game as a community, it's to be the best you. Like we're not trying to make you into something you're not. It's like actually we're going back to your authentic self and bringing out the best parts of you. And what's happened is we've just layered up some stories, our traumas, and they've all got layered on. And somehow on some areas we've just forgotten who we are and who we're supposed to be. And to have a community that's holding you to your highest light, to who you are supposed to be. And when you want to step into that, there's a place to do that. It's one of the most exciting things to me, and somebody who's been in this industry of personal and professional development for 35 years. I'm like, are you kidding? We get to do this? This is gonna be awesome. And so if you've heard something today and you're like, I don't know, is this all for men? I know Mike had just addressed it. You're like, you know who usually does the work is the feminine. Is they're always ahead. And so it is for both. And you should see some of the leaders we have are just amazing, amazing women. And my brother's very masculine, so he's going to push that. But it's a real balance. It's for people who want more in their lives. They want to be more of themselves. This is the place for you. And much like my little brother, when we were growing up, we were always looking for like, hey, who's got the hacks, man? Who's got the story? Who can help us? And I'd do anything to be around successful people, And I'm born before the internet. There was a time, people, and you'd have to get on a payphone to have a call or something, and it would be like I do anything to listen to somebody who's already climbed the mountain. Like, can you tell me before I climb the mountain? I want to know everything. And to think that, now you can create these communities where people want to actually share. Like, hey, this is just coming from love. If you're going to climb this mountain, here's some of the things you should know. And to me, as a kid growing up, and I'm still a kid at heart, I'm excited that there are people who would do this and get together and share. And so that's what we're all about. And we're excited to get this thing going and make 2024 the year of more and more of what you want, more of how you want to show up in the world. So thanks for letting us do a little bit about this today. And I'm actually going to come and do a different kind of talk next week so you can get another angle of the Kaulius energy. We both have lots of it. We just use it in different ways. But I'm happy to share a bit of my story next week. But thank you for having us on.
I'm excited for that too. And for those of you who are on here, get registered for the next ones. We have just more awesome conversations. Darren's is the 21st, so make sure to get signed up for that. We've got Martha on the 18th. Brent is going to be on January 10th, but you can go on and register now so that you make sure that you get in on all of those, because these are going to be more awesome conversations. Brent, I'm dying to hear from you.
Well, yeah, it's so interesting. I have all these different notes down, but I'm just going to talk about three things. First of all, thank you, Darren. I love your perspective and your voice. It's so good. And Micah and Diana, thank you for hosting these kinds of things at 5:30 Central Time. You're right, Marcus. There's a million things I could be doing. I just had walked in from a few days of coaching in Milwaukee, ran downstairs, opened the laptop just in time. And I sped. I passed cops all along the way on Highway 94 because I wanted to be here, because I knew it would be this good, and it was better. It was just what Darren said, it was more. So thank you, Marcus. But a couple things that you said that just stopped me in my tracks. And I even kind of wrote it in one of the comments about gratitude. I push through my days so quickly, and it feels like it's so well, but I rarely stop and smell the roses with hardly anything. And I need to appreciate things just a little bit better. I need to pause, reflect, and have gratitude. And so Thursday is going to look different for me in my world just because of the things that you shared tonight. So thank you. From the moment I wake up to the moment my head hits the pillow, I'm going to look at things with wider eyes and a brighter spirit tomorrow. So thank you for that. That's an important thing for me to think through. The other thing that you mentioned was just the fitness side of things. It's easy for me to talk about and tell other people that your body's a temple of God. And yet I don't always reflect it as well as I should. I've been playing the game, but I really haven't been playing the bigger game. And I love that you talk about that there's a bigger game. There's more, as Darren just talked about as well. And I need to approach 2024 with a few different things physically. And some of the things that you just talked about today really inspired me and challenged me. And one of the things that I'll end with this, but it's so interesting that I can spend way more time agonizing over my losses than I do spend time celebrating any wins. I'll have a win in my life and I just quickly move right past it and I look at the next thing that I need to get done. And it sounds like a few things that you talked about that you just say, I won the day today. I did that. I went for a walk. I had a good decision about food. I never celebrate wins, and I need to start doing that. And I think it'll just increase the size of my heart and my spirit. And so those are just a few of the things that I've been just jotting down that are going to change the trajectory, not just Thursday. Friday's going to be different and even in a better weekend. So Marcus, just for this reason alone, for one person, but everybody was impacted on this call. I know it. But just for someone like me to have a different Thursday and Friday, Saturday and Sunday, it's going to change the lives of the people around me that are going to be emanating some of the spirit stuff that's coming out of me. So bless your heart for all that you have shared. Thank you. Thank you.
Brent, you are freaking amazing, man.
I told you. This is a dude we were waiting to introduce you to.
I can't wait. I can't wait to get to know you more. First of all, man, I just looking out on your face on the screen, I've appreciated it because I knew you were just sending me the love. But you hit on something so important, and I'm so glad you caught it because it wasn't a big focus. Nobody celebrates enough. We just are in this society where it's like, no, you just hit your goal and that's not a big enough goal. Other people have bigger goals, so keep moving forward. What? That's too small. Don't slow down. No celebration. My brother and I have a different take on it. We're like, who can celebrate more? Let's have a competition. Who's going to celebrate more? Well, guess what I just did? I just did this. What? Yes. Yeah, buddy. Do you know how good that feels? And it's so important. Our brains need that. Then you release the dopamine, you release all these endorphins, and then your body goes, oh, we got to do that more. Okay, I'm going to get my workout in tomorrow because I'm going to celebrate again. Plus, by the way, it just so happens the January 1 workshop, one of the things we're going to do is we're going to do value setting. We're going to help you set your values. Then we're going to help you set your value rules, as in, how do I achieve these things? You make them so easy to achieve that multiple times a day you go, freaking did it again. Yes. Just to be clear, in case anybody didn't hear that properly, it's not goals that are easy to achieve. You got to set the goals as big. But the fact is, if you want big goals hit, you have to have your values super easy to hit so that I am hitting my goals, hit my values every single day. And I will hit my goal because I'm on fire and I feel good. And by the way, these celebrations, they help me sleep better at night. They wake me up better in the morning. You don't think that makes me a happier man around my wife and my girls? Heck yeah, it does. So I would love to celebrate with you. If you hang out with Darren and I, you're going to be doing a lot of celebrating.
Love it.
Love it. Oh, it's so good. So does anybody else have a takeaway or a question that you'd like to share just before we wrap up here? Anybody else got something that's on their heart?
Paula does.
Oh, what you got, Paula?
Yes, I do. Thank you so much, Marcus, for all of those topics. I feel that the energy totally matches. Like I went through a lot. I didn't have my body perfect because I have an autoimmune condition which breaks down the functionality of my body. But I realized since my transformation with Micah and Diana that was the gift. And I really liked when you had brought out about forgiveness, because after my transformation, I'm actually a single parent. My then husband had abandoned myself and my daughter and my son, who is special needs. And after my transformation, I felt a change in me, and I was able to face him and actually thank him for the years that we had, and that I forgave him for abandoning myself and my children, and that I was able to wish him the best. Although I never heard from him since, um, it was like a freeing moment right there, and it makes me realize that through your speaking about the topics, that I'm actually on the right track, that I'm
Yeah.
doing the inside work, but also at the same time, it makes me realize that I have to spend more time, not just forgiving others, which I do easily, but also forgiving myself, because sometimes we are very hard on ourselves and we don't realize that forgiveness is a two-way thing. So although that you're forgiving others, you got to forgive yourself to be able to move on completely and say, yes, this happened, but there's a lesson to be learned. But I also forgive myself, and also not continue with the rest of the generations, just like the daddy issues. My fear was, and fear, there you go, was, oh my goodness, now this has happened. My children are scarred. That's not necessarily true because of how I handled the situation going forward. And if I stay positive and wish him the best and always speak positive about him, even though he is not around, it will change my kids' outlook on the other children who are going through this, and be able to be that light to other people as well. So thank you so much for that.
Paul, you are so amazing. Can we please everybody? Yes. You are freaking amazing. And you brought up so many beautiful points. There's one that I want to highlight. I love that you recognized how fear is not going to help. And I want to tell everybody something about fear that you might, I mean, we all know we're not supposed to focus on fear, but do you know what happens when you focus on fear? Imagine your car is out of control and you're looking at a pole and you're like, oh, please don't hit the pole. Please don't hit the pole. Please don't hit the pole. Guess where you're going to hit? Where your focus goes, energy flows. If you're focusing on fear, you're going to make it happen. So I love that you caught it, and especially where you caught it, because again, going back to, this is actually a gift, which in your situation, I mean, that's such a perfect example of, that's a tough one to see. Like, what? My husband's gone. How is that a gift? Well, guess what? To your kids who now you're going, no, I'm not going to be fearful of, will they have daddy issues on? Nope. Instead, I'm going to fill them with love. They are going to grow up and go, my mom was like crazy loving. She loved us for 2 parents worth. That is awesome. And you get to wear that badge. And I'm so proud of you for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Beautiful.
She's pretty amazing.
She is. She's amazing.
Let's take one more. Sean, I saw that you had your hand up real quick. Did you have something you wanted to jump in there and add?
No,
Hear me?
there he is.
There he is.
Oh,
There he is.
Sean, I'm just
Don.
glad to
Hi.
be here. Hey, my name is Sean. I'm just glad to be here. I missed the first one that y'all had, I think, the other day, but then I clicked on an email that you did send me, and then I had watched the video that you had unlisted on YouTube or something, and it was really good. I think I saw Micah and Diana, and then a little bit of Brent speaking. And I'm sorry I'm late to this meeting, but I'm glad that I'm here.
Man,
Oh,
Sean, we're so
glad you're
blessed
here.
to have you, brother.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
And I'll send out the whole replay again so that you'll be able to see everything we talked about.
I'll watch it from beginning to end. I definitely will. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate
Thank you,
it.
brother.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in, Sean. Hey, Chatty
Thank you.
Chad, I would love to see you join the community, brother. You are such a loving human being, man. I just know how much you will love to be in it and surrounded by it. Oh, can't hear
Well,
you, brother.
We gotta.
Unmute yourself. So
There you go.
Thanks. Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey, Daddy.
I'm traveling right now, so I had to pull over to the side of the road, but to catch this tonight. So, but I'm glad to be here. So, what's up, brother Marcus?
Nice to see you, brother.
Micah, Diana,
Man, it's so
the
good
whole
to see
crew.
you, man.
Yeah.
And those that don't know Chatty Chad, man, this is one of the most positive, he just breathes positivity into folks. He's just a great, great hearted man. And yeah, follow him on Facebook. Really great guy.
Well, thank you. It's my duty here on earth. So I had I know we've kind of talked about this over the years, but I had an amazing spiritual experience, a divine appointment where I was actually spoken to in an audible voice.
Yeah,
So
you told me this story.
yeah. So I'm definitely doing that, and I take it very seriously, and I love it.
Keep your eyes on it, brother.
Yes,
absolutely.
Yeah, love that. Well, I think we can wrap up. We went we didn't do too bad. It's like we're pretty good here for time. But I just want to say thank you guys thank you all for being on and staying on. And I will again, I'll send the replays out and all of those things, but play a bigger game and lean and level up. We really would like to see, we're just bringing such awesome people into these, and you guys are the type of people that we want to see just as we build this community, both of these communities. So thank you, Marcus. That was amazing. Thank you so much for being here and giving us your time. And we can't wait to see you in January in person. And and just thank you to all of you. And yeah, we love you guys.
Thank you so much for allowing me to be here. Love you guys so much. God bless you, everybody. Thanks for coming in.
Take care.
Good night,
See you guys.
everyone.
Love you guys.
Take care, everyone.
Thank you so much. Take care. Thank you so much.
Let's get it.
You guys are awesome. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Chloe.
Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Woo!
Nailed it.
Nailed it.
Love you, bro.
Love you, brother.
Love you, brother. Love you.
Good night, guys.
Good night.